What do you think is the future of Indian dance in London?
I think the future of Indian dance in London is very bright and very promising, simply because the dancers who are born and brought up in London are receiving a very high quality of training, and they're not scared now to go to India and supplement that training, or actually commit themselves to staying in India for a year or 6 months and really make sure that they bolster their training. Equally, the sort of work route from India to London has opened up as well, and lots of talented dancers are coming from India, having had wonderful training and now ready and enthusiastic to work in London and add to the culture scene here. And the other thing I think that will work for Indians, this is probably why India flourishes now in every other way, is that they are very good at taking the best things of other cultures and melding it together with their own. And that goes for everything, for food, for clothes, for literature, music and dance as well. And that's the thing that will make the dance very popular, very strong, and I hope that it will really last, the test. I mean, at the moment, I do a lot of workshops, and the workshops are varied between children and schools, as well as corporate workshops. And I think now the balance for me, because I also work, and so it's very difficult to try and find time for regular classes. It makes more sense to still carry on the teaching work, but do it through the format of workshops. And because my own work contacts are in the corporate world, the corporate workshops seem to make more sense, and they're quite fun to do. A lot of the corporate companies have their own outreach programs where they give a lot of funding to local community programs, and every year they make sure that annually they have a rather gala performance, and they want performers and magicians and all sorts of people who can actually make a show and make sure that the local community have a wonderful time. At the same time, being given access and educated and sort of having their eyes open to different forms. And so luckily, being a Kathak dancer, it's just exotic enough and yet Western enough to work quite well in those environments. And because a lot of my friends are in the corporate world, I do a lot of corporate workshops, and it's fun. It's really great fun. I mean, often the corporate workshops actually tend to take more of the format of a performance for 40 minutes or so, and then a 20-minute very light workshop where people get to have a little go and find out if they have 2 left feet or not. And sometimes, for example, the last one I did for Thames Water, for sort of a directors' meeting, was absolutely wonderful. They'd had such a long day of so many meetings that all of them decided to put down their pen and paper, and they all wanted to do the workshop. So then we had to move all the tables away, and all the sort of senior managers and directors were doing my Kathak workshop and having a great time. And now I find that they've in fact had such a good experience. They want to use the photo from that workshop as their sort of lead on their next year's issue. So these things in corporate workshops mean that not only does Kathak get a good sort of rep, but it has a real value, because these corporate people have a lot of power. They're controlling rather large funds, which they can actually put to good use. And if that use can be that they are giving disadvantaged children a way of perhaps learning, a way of accessing these kinds of performance arts, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.